Thank you. Thank you for the submission, Patrick. Okay, Sean LaValle is in the house, right? There he is. There he is, those claps. You're so generous. Okay, look at this site. Look at this sick site. Oh my god. It's like Alex Barnhart, only in verse. Isn't it? it's very good. I like dark more. Makes late night viewing much more easy on the eyes. Okay, sorry. I feel it shows forefront stuff, but would want to hear more world building before I move forward if that came across my desk. Yeah, totally. So the whole ambience thing being more world building, that's what Matt's talking about. Okay, so here we go. Sean LaValle has been a regular on Real Talk for a long time. I'm really pumped to see this one. So home, game, audio design. Cool. Services. A sound is only as good as its execution. In addition to designing sounds and music targeted to suit a game's theme, setting, or visual aesthetic, I've also logged a considerable number of hours within game engine and authoring environments to make those sounds work exactly as intended. Cool. Choose a role. Fill out your party with bespoke audio services to fit your needs. All right. Sound design, music, implementation. Great. Oh, your reel's here, or like the extra content's here. I understand. They disappear. That is weird. Links on services page disappear when I hover over them. Bugs me. Yeah, that's kind of weird. It is weird. Is that big enough now? I'm always curious how big it should be. That's fine, eh? Okay, and these go to places. Mail to links. We all know how we feel about mail to links. I hate them, and so does Matt, because they always open up. I know what's going to open up. Outlook? Yeah, get out of here. I'm sure, yes. I really want to quit. It's okay. Like, who's ever used Outlook? That's my question. Google Plus. YouTube. Does it go somewhere, actually? It does. Cool. Hanzo play of the game. All right. And Facebook seems to go somewhere. Cool. So Matt says, as Fneofi, mail to links. There we go. Couldn't have said it better myself. Sound design, music. Oh, this goes to the other pages? What the heck? So this goes to this page? Oh, I see. This feels like a bit redundant, I guess? Because like I see it right here. But I guess it's under services, like these are services, and then you can go in here and see the services. I don't know. I guess it makes sense, kind of. Just feels like it's more than you need. Sound design. Cheers, Tuckleberries. Okay, so sound design and Wise audio implementation reel. And Dota 2 sound redesign. Cool. So home. We'll watch this one, of course, but good to know we have more things to look at here. Excuse me. Depths of space with music, Oscar mic, combat FPS, title theme concept, open world fantasy RPG, whimsical MMO world builder, space sci-fi FPS. Cool. So do you want to work in AAA? Seems like it. I strive to be proficient with the latest technologies relevant to making games sound great. Good, man. Let's see here. So you got Wise Nef mod, sure. Unreal Engine, Unity 5, 3Dception, Real Space. It bothers me that all these links are like blurry. Like the images. But it's just a small detail. Because like this is so crisp and then this isn't. But I understand why. It's alright. I'm also like way zoomed in, so further out it's easier, but I don't know. Thought I'd mention it, no big deal. I was working on a small game project. This is Narchops in the chat. I think it would be incredibly fun. However, I don't have any coding implementation experience. Not sure if it's a deal breaker or not. I'm currently the sound designer for Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy animated series. Rad. And an Amazon Prime Video animated series called Lost in Oz. Hey, good stuff. Well, thanks for coming by. Did you find us via Facebook? I'm guessing maybe. I'm guessing maybe, given that overlap. Yeah, cool. I mean, you don't really need coding experience. You just need to. It's good, kind of over time, to understand how sounds are hooked up in games, and it lets you just speak a coder's language better, right? I mean, I'm sure that in your position, you've had producers or coworkers in various roles who come to you and might not speak your language so well, right? And probably some do better than others. And when they do, the whole process just goes much faster, much easier, right? So the same goes for games. Of course, it's no different. If I understand how a coder's job works, then I can go to them with my created content or my fmod events or whatever I'm making, and I'll know how to convey my intention to them in a language that they can understand, or just a language that is most easily parsed, I guess is the best way of saying it. So yeah, it's not like a deal breaker, but it helps. Yeah, certainly. Okay, let's have a look at the reel. Yeah, I'm pumped. Are you pumped? 101. Look at this time. Amazing. Very, very good. Let's go. Can I go full screen? Okay, it will. Nice. And I'm at full volume, right? Full volume here. Let's have a look. Let's do it. Yeah, that's killer. Matt, your thoughts? I'm curious. Is the more ambience coming out? Is it? What do you think? I kind of expected that to be really good, actually. Just knowing Sean's active presence in the community and enthusiasm, and having watched Real Talk a ton, and obviously having done a lot of work on his own time. Yeah, I was really pumped to see this one, so I'm really excited about this. And Matt says, no, I think ambience was really good. There you go. There you go. I was waiting for that answer. Killer. Let's watch it again. Like, how many, what percent of the time? I'll take it, Matt, I'm out. What percent of the time is ambience fine? Like 1 in 12 or something? Like, maybe? It's very rare that it's just good to go. All right, well, thank you guys. Thank you very much. And we're out of here. So it's 5 o'clock. Go watch one more time here. So first off, we'll go by step by step. Let's talk presentation first, yeah? First off, opening titles, matches the site, branding and stuff, good. Email, cool. Twitter, cool. Web, cool. Everything's there. Wonderful. And it's gone in 2 seconds. Great. Let's carry on. I legit did not see this title at first, which might seem weird, but just being in the bottom right, I think is a bit unconventional. Totally like a preferential, subjective thing probably for me personally, but I figure I'm just telling you my honest reaction, and it's that I didn't see this at first, and then later I didn't see the Dota 2 one also, because the Dota 2 one was like buried in the UI, because it was over here, right? So I was like looking here, I'm like, oh, what did he? Oh, I see, yeah. And I knew it was redesigned because I just saw the previous page, but just like very, very detailed thing. I don't know, maybe being like a full lower third with the text on it is kind of harder to miss. but like such a small, like nuanced detail, man, not a big deal. So we'll carry on here. So your titles say Unreal FPS demo, great. Unreal Engine 4 and Wise, great. Sound design implementation, great. It says what it was, what you used, and what you did. Wonderful. Carrying on. Oh, this isn't covered by other things. Yes, totally. Great, we'll carry on here. Again, tanks by Unity, Unity 5, Fmod Studio, sound design implementation. Great. Fmod and Wise so far. Wonderful. Capitalize implementation. Yeah, you could. I mean, sound design's capitalized, so it might be worth capitalizing that too. Again, like this is such like, look at that. So we're looking for stuff to be angry about. Yeah, because sound design was capital in the previous one, and then here it was capital sound design, and then not low again. Like, I don't know, maybe just for consistency's sake, couldn't hurt, but whatever. It feels like this is, I feel so silly even talking about this, but like when it's lowercase, it feels like a side note. But that's kind of a big deal. So I'd throw a capital I on that thing. Sure, why not? Let's carry on. Sound redesign. Cool. Redesign. Cool. Literally unwatchable. Thanks, Omega. Yeah, cool. It's like I watched the whole thing through and didn't mind twice. So that's huge. That's very unusual to be like pumped to watch it again, you know? So there's like some detail-y stuff that I think could be a bit more fleshed out, like in the redesign stuff, and only because like in the implementation stuff, like you're just it's an engine, right? So you're doing it, and as I said in the past, like when you see things like the cube tutorial for Wise or whatever, like you know it's going to sound like hell, but as I've said before, the points lost due to it being like not perfect are totally made up for by the fact that you're doing it at all. Because like, so for example, there's a whole lot of reels that we've watched that are like redesign. It's like, that's cool, and sometimes the redesigns are like really good, but the problem with that is that there's very few studios, and I mean from this, we'll get to material selection in a second, but from this it seems like you want to work AAA. You better, given this reel. But AAA studios are not, they have their pick. You know, there's so many people that want to work for them, and if you have a reel of great redesigns, you're going to get outgunned by someone who has good redesigns and shows a personal volition to learn things like Fmod and Wise and Unity and Unreal and so forth, right? So those kinds of things are really, really good to show. So, and the thing is, this sounds pretty good, you know? It sounds, for being your own thing, it's like, it's nice. Like, mind you, I'm no AAA expert like Mark Kilborn, but I mean, to my ears, I'm like, yeah, this is a great reel as far as this kind of stuff being shown in there. And there's stuff elsewhere in the scene? You hear that? Like, what's happening over there? Tell me what that was. Was it happening in the scene for real? Come on now. Like, what is that? There's some vehicles and stuff? Was that ambient sound being given off by that Unreal sign? Yeah, hilarious. It's a world. It's a world. Like this, so, man, like, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the previous reel again, because I have to. It's just for comparison's sake here. If we look at Fat Bard's thing again, and again, this is like good design. This is a showcase of well-designed sound effects. If we compare that to this one, so I'll go over here, boom. So we'll listen through it here. Okay, compared to this shot. So my note earlier regarding producers and directors and such who will roll onto the scene looking for someone to hire for sound, and they might not know why one feels better than another. But this, so Matt said it's a world. This feels and sounds like a world. There's things happening all around you. It's a huge difference and indicates a lot of maturity in design compared to, well, a very similar reel that has, like, what's here, like, right in front of the camera. We're going to design all that really lushly and full. It'll be great. And it probably is great, but the thing is, it's not a world. It's like this thing forever. You're just following what's in front of the camera the entire time, right? So we'll carry on here. It's cool. It's a nice combination of like thump 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 thump. It's like so kind of unthreatening, combined with the big like of the treads and the big metal explosion, even though it's like a little colorful guy. And again, Unity and Fmod, huge. And then once you've shown pipe thump thump thump, yeah. Once you've shown your aptitude and interest in things like Fmod and Wise and Unreal and Unity and so forth, then you go on and be like, oh, by the way, here's some redesigns, because I know you guys see this shit all the time, so that's fine. But here's some redesigns once I already have your attention, right? And that's so effective. Like if you had this first and then the Wise stuff, I'd be like, switch it. But it's correct as it is right now. It's really good. The order of things is really nice for this whole reel. Oh, Carl's need that much pitch randomization? Yeah, that's a fair point. Thum 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 thum. Yeah, it's quite a lot. That's a fair point. Thum thum thum. Yeah, and like I don't play Dota, so I mean I don't have the best. I'm not the best person to be like, oh, it sounds better or worse or the same. So I would probably look at Dota after this and be like, out of curiosity. But I don't feel qualified to comment on the goodness compared to Dota 2 right now. But it's probably, I mean, I'm guessing Dota 2 sounds pretty damn good. We'll carry on. And Matt, so I'm with you, man. The Paragon one I was the least into. Absolutely, I feel the same way. But. And I'll just echo him again, so already thinking good things by the time he got there. So that's fine. Like, I got to Paragon, I'm like, eh. And I literally, if I think back to my state of mind and I step outside my body and like observe my thoughts for a second, I'm pretty sure I was like, hell yeah, cool, Fmod and and Unity, Unreal Wise, great. And then this I'm like, cool, sounds pretty good. And to this I was like, he's good. I was like, it was a brief like, yeah, it could be better, but by that point I was like, I'm already on board, you know, so it's not a big deal. It felt like this thing could use like another 10% polish kind of thing. There's a lot of things that I felt could be a bit more like kind of fine detailed. So for example, It's a lot of broad strokes, to put it that way. So Carson's saying, sorry, Slipseld in the chat saying Paragon had the least wow factor, I think. Agreed. And I think it's because of that attention to detail. So given that there are a lot of broad strokes, and the broad strokes are like the foundation we lay underneath the kind of more detailed sound design, right? So things like for a big moving thing. But if it's like For example, if I jump to the very end here, this like rocky dealio. Like there's some like rock debris and stuff there, but it's not very much. It's sort of like, and if you look earlier, we'll look at, let's just look at the various things that are happening on screen, okay? Let's do this. So big door open. Open, up and rotate. Laser, shot and explosion. Appearance, jump, and summon, and that's it. So it's like 10-ish kind of events that happen on the screen, and they're all like designed mostly. You know, they're all designed mostly, but so with this, it's like a lot of, it's like a big, I mean, what's this thing made of? You can just sort of draw conclusions of your own, right? Like stone and metal or something. So if you close your eyes, it almost sounds like we're in a warehouse or something, and there's like something happening across the room way over there, and we're lacking contour and texture on it. It's because we're so far away, right? So it's like we're not that far away in this shot, so you could probably have a lot more detail in there. Like Matt said, the clicky clackies, like this thing going around, the fan, like we can have some more higher pitch, like, or have some. Of like the part around it, the bit around it, like maybe it's like ratcheting. Just, I mean, it's up to you. What's happening inside this thing, you know? Is there... And these are like... But it's pretty measured, like it's not very upfront. And this thing, man, like that, I did miss that when it came out the first time. So that opens, and even that is like, I'll close my eyes again and listen to that little shot. It's it feels distant because everything's very washy, you know. It's like, and it could be a reverb thing or just a general design thing. I don't know, but it's washy is the word I would use for this. It's like very broad, very washy. There's not a lot of contour to the various things that are happening. With this, you could totally get in there and bring like a metallic like shink and like have the clack when it finishes that opening. You could have like a click before it opens even. Watch it again. So we have it. The camera change happens. It's like, but we don't. I don't think I heard any of these little like iris door elements. You know, I just hear like a kind of all around me. It's like even here, and I guess I'm on the thing. If it is like a like maybe this thing is giving off that much sound all around you. That's possible, I guess. But I'm not hearing what's in front of me. So it's almost like the inverse problem we have sometimes, where there's not enough attention on what is right in front of you. And so Slipcell mentioned as well, what is that laser making noise, you know? So man, like this thing, it's just like could you have some high pitched something in there, some bit different just to introduce this floating whatever. This laser is burning the house down. Is this making noise or what? Is it just watching, I guess? Silently? And the close my eyes. It's kind of a bold design because I don't think that sounds like a laser, like an energy blast. It just sounds like a cannon or something. And the so here we go. Let's look at this thing. What did it hit? Like a mech or something? Is that what that was? I don't really know Paragon very well, so look at all this debris, man. It's like metal bits and stuff. That might as well have been like a mortar blast in, you know, a World War II kind of shot. It's a very like dirt debris kind of thing, but it's not really accurate specifically to what we're seeing. It's like it's vaguely metal, like vaguely at best. And given how good your ambience is elsewhere, this one could have more of that. Like the shot changes, and then we just hear that debris coming down kind of thing, like over to the right or in front of you or wherever you decide that is coming from. Let's go ahead to the next shot here. That's cool, but it's not that interesting. It's like synced well, and the shing is cool, being like it's a knife. It's like it's kind of silly because like the knife wouldn't make a different noise, but whatever. It's same thing as like unsheathing a sword. There's been YouTube videos made of like what swords actually sound like when you unsheath them, and it's not very interesting. It's like shh. It's very, very uninteresting. But this could be like it feels like one kind of good layer in there, but it didn't feel like it was a full kind of building to the finish. And if we're talking about phrasing for a second, this sound of this character like appearing has a very clear start and finish, and it's got a very clear kind of movement of or implication of like size changing. So it starts small and like travels across and goes, and I see the full dude. And this, if you again close your eyes, it's gonna like just goes away. So it's very like it's either on or it's off, and it could be like you can have something that goes through the whole thing to kind of to give that full action. Like one phrase of sound, right? Phrasing, I don't do that anymore. Phrasing. This jump, the very first time noticed it was silent because it was like shing, and then our focus is now on whatever the next thing that moves on screen is, and it's this dude. It goes like kind of, but again, it's very broad, and it doesn't seem like it's very clearly linked to this action. And this movement in, similar to our little chat earlier about this sound, right? The little whoosh. The same thing applies here. It's not a massive transient, mind you, but it's still like a sound going into another sound. So if we have this shot, watch when it changes shots here. There's nothing there. It's like, and nothing there at all. But we're right up in his grill, so you can probably hear something there, like something like a little leather creak or like a whoosh with his arms going up, or whatever like pre-life magic sound thing you want to have. Like he's going like whoop. So does the sound of this magical summon start on the appearance of the portal, or does it happen beforehand as like it's some magic in the air kind of thing before you hear it, before you see it happening? That kind of we call it pre-life, right? Like pre-life is hearing things before we see them, and that's what generally divides very good design from exceptional design. So this is synced very hard against like this sigil appearing in the sky. Like it starts there, right? But you could for sure, you have a full like second and a half before this thing that you could just go, whoom, have some sound there, right? I was pretty narrowed in on what I was seeing frame by frame. Yeah, no, it's very obvious you were, absolutely. I think that you could be, so frame by frame, you could probably, like I was saying, like be more attentive to very specific clicky-clacky details and hearing things after they happen. So like a very, excuse me, a very good example of that is like the Star Trek door opening, like it doesn't need to go in the wall. Like nothing's happening in the wall. They just sort of defined that like right. It's a thing that happens afterwards to make the thing seem more interesting from an aural perspective. So same thing here. If we have like this little door opening at the beginning, we have this little space where nothing's happening while we're waiting for the rings to come up. You could totally have, like, where do these little doors go? Do they just like stop there silently, or do they like go further into the thing and like lock into place and have some kind of like mechanism or some kind of tonal response, or I don't know, right? It's up to you as a designer. So yeah, this Foley thing going up, like whoop, pre-life had this thing, and Matt mentioned earlier this thing, the dude appearing that sounds. Oh, sorry, that was the other one. He was saying that this summon sounds like the thing summoning it, and not the rock itself. And I'm kind of inclined to agree with that. It sounds like very big and like kind of impending, but Yeah, it could be a little more rocky there. You could embellish it. Like maybe it wouldn't sound crazy rocky in person, but you could probably get a little more exaggeration there. Play that awesome logo stinger again. Which one? I don't know what Joey's talking about. Okay, cool. Well, that was like sick, man. Like it's really good. We were getting into some serious nitty gritty there, but it's like a solid reel, like really solid. That was the last reel. Sorry. What are you talking about, Joey? Joey, you drunk? Joey, Joey, please. Okay, music, sound design. Do you have more things here? Okay, I'm curious of this stuff now. Let's hear this. Minutes. It's a full piece. Yeah, Ali, I think it's in the sound design tab. I'll get there in a second. Sonic Buster is asking, can I heart this again? Very emphatically. Alright, cool. Well, next. Cool. The high-pitched stuff's getting to me. This is better. Whoa! Whoa! Where's the drop? Let's hear this. Well, this is an effective 3 tracks, man. It's pretty good as far as being like, I am versatile. I have a variety of interests. It's good. Even if you, I mean, to be honest, your reel seems to be kind of sound design focused, being that it's on your front page and this is like game audio design. It's all sound. But that said, having an indication of musical awareness and aptitude is huge. It's really, really important in terms of setting yourself apart from others. So for example, like in our team, so with Power Up, we work with a couple composers primarily, like Riley Koenig we work with all the time, and like various others just kind of on a contract to contract basis, right? Or project to project basis. But that said, I went to college for music composition. I do sound design now. I don't write music for games at all. I will help with music ideas. I will speak to people like, or various composers we're working with in musical terms to help direct the process or help give feedback or whatever. But I don't write music. I went to school for music composition. I played piano and trumpet my whole life. And then we look at Jeff. You know, Jeff took theory in university and such, right? He plays guitar. He knows what the piano keyboard is and what it looks like and where D is. You know, it's all stuff we're aware of. And Joey plays drums and like a bunch of string stuff, like was it bass and guitar? Man, you play guitar for sure, right? So the point is, I mean, we all have this like musical aptitude, and if we were to hire again, I don't think we would hire someone who didn't have that musical understanding. That's huge. It's really, really, really important. So, okay, so let's look at your other implementation thing too, man. So this is your Wise implementation reel. This is the whole redesign for Dota 2. Okay, let's watch this then. I'm curious. Really curious. Let's see this. Full screen. Dude! Where's your branding? It was so good before. Oh, and Joey sings like an angel. Correct. It's not a lie. Rad. Look what it is. Okay, well, I mean, I'm happy. I don't even need to comment on things more. We're already at 5:30, so I'll leave it at that. But man, thanks a lot. That was one of the stronger reels we've probably ever received. So nice work. Yeah, thank you for that Clippy, by the way. Slip cell. Thanks a lot. Yeah, sounds cool. Sounds cool. Sounds really good. So, see ya. Do you feel you connect with the EWI like the alto? Are you talking to our resident alto sax player, Matt Esk? You must be. Okay, let's go through these guys. Hey, shall we? Oh, sorry, I closed your site. My bad. So let's talk. Presentation. Great. Get your branding on other stuff on the site. Just fill it out, make it all polished up. Get your titles nice and capitalized. Put them in maybe full thirds to make them easier to see immediately, and get rid of the risk of not seeing it. But otherwise, great. The order of things is great. Material selection shows you want to work in AAA. It shows an aptitude for a variety of things. Content quality, we talked about that in detail, but generally, you can look at giving more pre-life and post-life to things you're designing. Like, think about what you can't see and design that. That's where kind of your maturity will really come through in your design. You'll show your maturity in your design. And be careful about going too broad and washy on stuff like, well, anything really, like anything at all that has like a large movement. It's important to have that like large movement, but make sure you give as much focus to the broad strokes as you do the details too, right? And distinction, man, it's like a really, really strong start. What this would be probably for a lot of AAA studios would be like the post-it kind of, we'll keep our eye on this guy kind of thing. I don't think this reel would get you hired. It might in some studios, it's possible. But I don't know that you would get hired right away, but they would for sure be like, stay in touch. And they'd mean it. They wouldn't be like, yeah, sure, keep us updated on what you're working on. Like it's like I say that to everyone, and I mean it sometimes. Well, if they come back and they're like amazing, I'm like great. I mean it all the time. But there's some that I'm like really hoping will get back to me, and this would be one of those. So awesome, man. I mean, you want more of these. Freaking second round of applause. It's a rare thing around here. So I'm gonna press play again and go. Yeah, so again, thank you everyone for hanging out. And if it's your first time here, then thank you so much, even more so.